Thank you. This is going to look so lonely up here. I want to say, yeah, thank you for coming out. I know that it's a Friday, it's 9:30. I know a lot of people might be a little bit hungover, although the audience is younger and younger, or I'm older and older, I can't tell. Steve Zaragoza is going to hop out right around, I think, front and center. So front and center, and we're going to take questions both using the hashtag, there we go, and also in the line whenever Steve figures out how to get out from the back. Oh, there he is. There you are, Zaragoza.
Yeah, so we're gonna start the line here. So if you guys want to anyone who wants to ask questions, we're gonna line up, and the line's gonna go straight off this way. And so Ryan, the stage manager here. Big applause for Ryan, the stage manager, please. He's gonna be your go-to guy for figuring out this line, but it looks like you guys are doing it already, so this is awesome.
Look at that, so fast.
Look at this beautiful audience, Phil.
I know that you were like, we have to prep a few Twitter questions because they're gonna take a little time to set up. No, not at all.
Oh no, we've got Twitter questions already. Did you give them the hashtag?
It's right there.
Some people might not see it.
How?
Because just, you know, the tall man sitting in the front.
True.
You know how it goes.
No.
All right, so Phil, I loaded up a first question for you from Twitter.
Okay.
Using that hashtag Ask Philip DeFranco. And Jess, @GentleJess. Are you here, Gentle Jess?
Hello, Gentle Jess.
Well, maybe not. She's just a dream. Oh, Gentle Jess is over there. Okay. She asks, Philip DeFranco, what's your opinion on the commercialization of YouTube in recent years compared to old school YouTube?
Okay, no, that's a good question. I think it's an appropriate question because I think it's the largest VidCon so far. I've gone to, what is it, 8 now? Jeez. So 8 now, and everyone always says, like, remember when it was back in that shitty hotel, and it was a nice hotel, but there's only 150 of us with this like hope that it was going to become something else, and every year, no matter how little of a part we are of either VidCon or of YouTube in general, it's amazing to see. I think there are a lot of people that they romanticize the past of like, remember when it used to be more one-on-one, but it was also like, remember when we couldn't pay rent? And like, that's not a thing that I romanticize. So I'm happy about it, but as long as YouTube has to remember that the creators matter, right? And there are people at YouTube that do understand that, they do believe that, but it's such a large company, and they get a lot of views from, and not to say that it's a bad thing, but the Katy Perrys, the Kevin Harts, the mainstream guys that are now coming here. So the way that I like it is those guys are helping validate it to people that aren't in the know like you guys are, and it helps us grow, helps us become more of a real thing to the people that don't appreciate it. But also, as time goes on, like we have stars that are 12 years old, 13 years old, that are just growing up with the platform. There's gonna come a day where there's a 40-year-old guy that's like, yeah, I've been watching YouTube for 20 years. This is just the beginning of the new normal. So I'm a big fan of it, just because it makes it more stable, and it makes it so that we can accomplish a lot more. Cool.
Wonderful. All right, so I'm gonna stand.
I'm gonna stand.
Here.
This is so weird.
I'm gonna be right here. Yeah, there you go. That's better. And then just if you want to bring the first live question here, and then I'll keep checking Twitter for those of you who are kind of like, I don't want to be on a damn.
I gotta keep the cameraman busy.
Yeah. Okay, so hello, I know you. But listen.
Oh, hello again.
Do you know this lovely person?
Every year. Love your face.
What was your name for the audience?
Trippyism.
Trippyism, everybody. And what is your question, Trippyism?
Okay, so someone who is a broke-ass college kid, what do you recommend to partake in Patreon for?
Wait, can you boost that microphone? I can't hear.
Yeah, let's just get let's boost it.
As someone who's a broke-ass college kid,
yes,
who cannot partake in Patreon,
yes,
but wants to,
okay.
How much should I partake in, and what's the best perk available?
So wait, what's the best perk available, and then what was that before it?
What's the best perk available?
What's the best perk available?
And for someone who's broke, how would you best participate in like a Patreon crowdfunding type thing?
So you participate.
As a supporter.
Yes.
So that's kind of been our hard thing. I think a lot of people want support. As a former broke-ass college kid, I 100% understand. That's why also we have those broke-ass college kid sales, so we can get stuff out to people that really, really support but don't have the cash because life. What we're working on, and it's not finalized yet, we're working on trying to set up a trial period for a lot of people, and also potentially in the future starting lower tiers, or just being able to, my big goal isn't to put anything behind a wall, and if someone's not supporting on Patreon, I don't view them as like a lesser supporter. It's like this weird balance of how do I give someone a perk or a benefit, but then don't feel like I'm holding out on the 970,000 other people that aren't or can't. So I'm figuring it out. It's all very new, but when we launched DeFranco Elite, when we launched our Patreon, that was like we had made the video, but we didn't know if we were going to be able to post it that day or if it was going to be 3 months from then. So we kind of just pulled the trigger as fast as possible. So I think the best way to support, if you're not talking about the perks, is just share. Liking and sharing. I mean, there's a reason every YouTuber says it. It's us getting in front of more people, hopefully because you actually like us and you want to, especially with the content we put out, that we're trying to be a rational voice in an irrational world. That's the best way. And then the perks. I mean, our lowest tier, it's exclusive content, it's early access, massive discounts, and private discords, just cultivating a community there. But yeah, long run, I want to be able to offer more and more perks at the bottom level, and then just the people that can do more, they can do that. So it's just, we're experimenting in public, but hopefully we do not fail you in the process. Cool, thank you.
All right, Trippyism.
I love you.
Nice work. Just high fives. High fives. All right, next, let's go. Come on over here, buddy. I like your shirt. Very nice. All right, let's stand right here. I think we were getting feedback right there. Okay, so what is your name, sir?
My name's Zach.
Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Zach, what is your question for Mr. Philip DeFranco?
For Mr. Philip DeFranco, I don't necessarily have a question. I know it's Q&A. Do you want to take this?
Sure. He's gonna run with it. He's gonna run with it.
Go for it. So, a little something about me. I'm an active duty Air Force mechanic.
Awesome.
I've been to Afghanistan 3 times, and every time I've been watching your videos.
Thank you.
And one of the things they don't want to tell you about Afghanistan is that sure you get attacked, sure you get mortared, but they don't tell you about the tedium and how you can lose yourself in a day, and eventually you forget what day it is, and it's kind of terrible.
Right.
And I can't thank you enough for the videos that you put out, because that was my clock of what I used to tell what day it was, or what even the date was, because I had no idea. And I just really appreciate it. And I brought something for you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if I can give it to you.
Yeah, let's do it. Of course.
What is it?
They're military coins.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever gotten them.
Yes, no, I'm gonna come down. I'm sorry to the stage manager.
So, I don't really want to tell you what aircraft they're working on, but if you look at it, you can tell.
That's awesome.
So yeah, boss.
That means, no, come here. That means a lot to me. I was like, wait, how do I get back up? We're gonna go this way?
Nice
Oh,
work,
that way.
man. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna disappear. I said, I'm gonna disappear in the back, but I will come back out. You didn't scare me away. I was like, I don't want to do that really weird crawl up thing. I'm not in shape.
Zach. Let's give it up for Zach, guys. How awesome is that? Awesome. All right, come on over here, buddy. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, what have you done today so far?
Wake up, eat breakfast, and
Snooze. All right, anyway, what is your name, sir?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, and what is your question for the great Philip DeFranco?
Almighty Philip DeFranco. How's your
Oh, watch
day?
that hand movement.
Are you trying to dab, sir?
No.
Yes, he was trying to dab and nothing else.
Just wanted to ask, how's your day been?
Good. I mean, we're just getting started. Because this is year 8, I know my point at night where I'm like, and go to bed. But year 1 to 7, usually pretty sloppy and it would be painful normally, but you learn from your past mistakes, and I'm feeling good. I'm excited. This is the first day I actually hit the floor, because we've been doing podcasts, and I mean, part of trying to get out there again. I feel the past year, I kind of just like got in my hole, I've been trying to really focus on the videos, been trying to launch solo now, but so we've been doing podcasts with like Bernie Burns. We're gonna try and set one up with like Casey Neistat. So a few people, don't you cheer for him. I can't take it. I know his videos are better.
And Steve
Zaragoza, except you can't get Steve Zaragoza because if you watch his Instagram stories, he's just in his hotel room playing Mario Kart.
I have social anxiety!
Why do you come here? But yeah. But how are you doing? You doing great?
Yeah, pretty good.
Cool, man.
What was your morning like, sir?
Woke up.
Alright, cool, man. That's a nice word. Thank you. It's a good thing you woke up, right? Hey there, what is your name?
My name's Jane.
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 May I take your hand? Jane. Alright, Jane, what is your question for Philip DeFranco?
So first thing I want to say to you, Phil, is I am a really huge fan from Toronto, Ontario.
Thank you.
I love your videos. You're literally my only reliable news source.
I will take that. Thank you.
And you literally make my day brighter every time I watch your videos.
Thank you so much. Oh, that means a lot. It really does.
So sweet fans feel over. I wanted to ask, what would you say is your highest point and your lowest point in your career? And also, could you give advice for anybody who's looking to go down your line of work? As you have talked about in your videos, that it is becoming increasingly harder to make YouTube a career.
Okay, so I would say highest point is most recently, right? So the launch of DeFranco Elite, the launch going solo again, just not even, I mean, there's the conversation of subscribers and supporters on one platform and just in general, the amount of love that we've gotten, the amount of support. The scary thing about being here is every conversation that I've had is, I respect you and we believe in you. And I 90% believe in me, but everyone that's coming up 100% believes in me. So it's a lot of pressure, but it's all coming from a place of love. So it's all good and exciting. And so this launch of kind of taking back my career. The lowest, and it was really just of my own doing. I would say about 2.5 years ago, I was over it. I didn't want to make videos anymore. I wasn't passionate about it. I think for those of you who've watched me for a long time, you know there was this kind of shift. It was a little bit of I don't give a fuck anymore. There has to be a way that I can continue to put out my opinion without alienating people that don't have that same opinion. And so I really focused on trying to see what other people believe, like what they think. And so there was this period of 6 months where I was just going through the motions. I was starting to think of what I wanted to do with my life after YouTube. And for better or worse, considering your personal point of view, the election happened and everyone started caring about news again. I started caring about news again. And it gave me this second life. And as far as, what was the last part?
My last part was, what advice do you have for anybody who wants to go down your career path, considering YouTube is becoming increasingly harder to make as a career?
Well, so that's the thing, right? So like I said, I was talking to Bernie the other day, and you never want to feel disingenuous of just like, follow your dream, you're 100% going to accomplish it. No, the hard work just makes it more likely. Oh, you're okay. I love you.
I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. I'm not used to being around YouTubers. Like I said, I'm from Toronto, and every YouTuber from Toronto has moved here.
Oh no, they've abandoned you.
Did you bring us ketchup chips?
Oh, stop.
I unfortunately couldn't. I'm sorry, guys. I know I let you guys down.
Next question.
No. No, but I mean, so what I'd say is, obviously, in the beginning, I never recommend someone doing the blind leap. Right, I did the blind leap and it was a horrifying 1.5 years of not knowing where I was gonna live, living in my car for a little bit. So I would say, dabble in it first. Make sure that before you jump, that at least the first step is a little safer than it would normally be. And then a vlog at its core should be one of the easiest things in the world, as long as you're not trying to do 80 drone shots and every crazy little thing. It should be simple. So it's kind of just think of it as a marathon, because if you go in on a sprint, I've been doing this 10 years. The burnout rate. A lot of people, and that's the thing, is when I see people coming out of the gate going, I'm gonna do vlogs 7 days a week, and I'm like, good luck getting past 3 weeks. That's hard. It's hard. There's certain days you're just like, I don't want to be creative. I don't want to be a human being. I can't put it out. Even though, in general, a vlog at its core should be one of the easiest things in the world, as long as you're not trying to do 80 drone shots and every crazy little thing. It should be simple. So it's kind of just think of it as a marathon, because if you go in on a sprint, I've been doing this 10 years. The burnout rate it's insane. Because there's more support systems out there, you're seeing the burnout a little less, but people, YouTubers in general, creators in general, are their own worst enemies. So just think of it as like you're getting prepped for a marathon, and be safe about it. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Phil.
you.
All right, come on up here, buddy. Come on over to me. Take my hand, will you? What's your name?
I'm Henry.
Henry! We got Henry here, Phil.
Henry, are you going to be in our vlog today? You look familiar. I think I saw you this morning.
Yes, I am. I love your blogs.
Thank you.
And I like your content also. I respect you and I believe in you.
That is accurate.
It's an honest opinion.
No, it's an honest opinion. We have a vlog coming out, I think, right now. Everyone's going to be over me. They're going to just love Joe. Look at that. See? I told them.
All right, so what's your question for Phil?
My question for Philip DeFranco, is that do you think you have an influence in international viewers? Because I'm an international viewer and also in American politics and in all of the news lately.
Definitely. I think that I have somewhat. Our footprint outside of the United States is much smaller, and it's something that seeing it grow, it excites me because it means YouTube in general, or what we're doing in general, is more interesting outside of kind of where we target. And I think the biggest thing that I see from it is seeing that little kind of like shimmer of what's changing and where there's interest. And I really want to start focusing more on international news, both in my show, but creating offshoots of my programming that focus specifically on other countries. Because there are a lot of places that you don't have a voice that is similar to mine, right? There's a lot of one side or the other, and I think what we've been trying to do here in the States and what we try and do on the occasional international story, it's very important to happen in a lot of other places, and there's also an opportunity, because anyone else that's covering news, there's not a lot of trust there. So I want to try and take what we have and expand it. Cool. Thank you, man. Thank you, Henry.
See you, man. Phil, I got another question from Twitter here for you. From Emily L. at Sturm und Drang. Are you here in the audience? There she is. Okay, great. And the question is, Phil, what events were instrumental to the formation of your political views?
Ooh, okay. Well, I mean, as far as my political views, I think everyone starts off on a base level of how you were raised, right? Who you are is like a mixture in general of your environment growing up and how much you resisted your environment growing up, right? So I lived in very liberal areas of New York growing up, and then I lived in very conservative areas of North Carolina. So I got this kind of like mishmash. And I would say that for the first 27 years of my life, I was very, very liberal. I was very liberal. Obama shirt, like there are videos where I'm wearing an Obama shirt, and I think I'm like, yes, we can. And just seeing different people's points of view, really honestly, people having really solid arguments and trashing my own in personal conversations was helpful. And I think that's the way, having conversations and realizing I was ill-informed on a lot of topics, or realizing where I had kind of the better footing, that was really helpful. And I think that's when I say that it's about the conversation, the debate, it really needs to be about it. You need to realize that you're not always right. I cringe both because of my performances and also because of certain points of view I had in old videos, because it really wasn't a full well thought out thing. I was saying things that I had heard other people say, right? And so realizing that you could be the idiot in a conversation, or I could be the idiot on talking to you guys right now. I might get a question that throws me off, and I kind of just say something that's really stupid. It's important to be able to look at it and go, okay, I can evolve from that. I can grow from that. I can be my base after like the building's been knocked down. And as long as you can be that rough on yourself, and luckily because I've been doing that for so long with you guys, I feel it's almost like we joke about safe spaces, but it feels like a safe space to be wrong and to have a conversation. And I mean, there've been, if you watch the Friday show, you know there's sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. And I want to be able to keep saying that for years and years and years, because that means that I'm still growing. That means that I'm not this lockdown thing, that I'm not just preaching against it, but living that life. So constantly being wrong. I think that's the best way to say that's where my political beliefs came from. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, cool shirt, dude.
Yeah.
Franco 2024. What's your name, sir?
Casey.
Casey. All right, what's your question for Phil?
Well, first of all, I have to say I've been to all 8 VidCons as well, and I partook in your big game of Ninja a few years back.
Yes.
So that was awesome.
Did you make it past the first round?
I made it to the second round.
Okay, you can keep asking a question then.
So my question is very important. When are you going to hire Steve Zaragoza for your news network?
Yeah! Woo! Woo!
I didn't screen that one.
I need to know. The people need to know.
Do it!
Second question.
No, how about this, Steve? I'll say this. So we've had people coming around the office. Some of them are from back in the day. Some of them are part of OG4. And a lot of what we're doing isn't just, so there's the news that the audience is supporting, that's what we're building out, but there's also, what can I say, Steve? There's a side thing. So let's say that there's, hypothetically, I should not be the most surprised person in the world if at some point our names were in the same sentence along with 3 others. Does that say it?
Woo! Yeah!
Sorry.
Vague. And do you have another question?
I would ask, are you ever interested in expanding to like a article-based like news website, like, or are you just going to stick to videos mostly?
So initially we were thinking just mainly doing video-based, right? There's definitely, that's our bread and butter, but as we've in the past week and a half been expanding out to getting researchers and writers, what we're realizing is because we pulled from the nation, because we brought in beautiful bastards, they have the passion, they have the belief, and also the people that we brought in have really high skill sets. And so each day now, like the past week and a half, we've had 15 potential stories to cover that are very well researched, and then I feel bad because we're only including 4 for time, because while I'm making the show, we're also then building out other things. So I am very open to the idea of having something that is text-based. I would want to make sure that it would be reads under 2 minutes that were then accompanied by video, but that's my big thing. I love YouTube, not married to YouTube. Long term, whether it be Patreon, whether it be YouTube, whether it be anything we do, I want to eventually have our own ecosystem, whether it be app-based or anything else. A lot of what I'm planning to do as far as structure-wise in the back is based off of Rooster Teeth's back end, Rooster Teeth first. Using that in a, thank you 3 Rooster Teeth fans. They're like, there's more of us!
I think Bernie's in the crowd.
But yes, definitely. What it looks like, it is a very long road. I want to make sure I get the video right first, and then it just makes sense to go to text. Cool, thank you, man.
Cool, man. Take care. Good question, man.
Great screening, Steve.
He didn't tell me he was gonna
He's
ask
sneaky.
What is your name?
My name's Danielle.
Danielle. And what is your question for Phil?
So I know YouTube got rid of video responses a long time ago, and I know you said something about it. You said you missed them, and as a small creator, like I've always wanted to like be noticed and like help out and obviously respond to stuff. So with the new news network, are you planning on like incorporating smaller creators doing maybe like video responses, or like maybe introducing like new topics or something like that, like with the new any business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So originally we were planning on making, like I was saying, like the owned and operated app, where we built out the tech, made it so people could send video responses, but we're also thinking, how can we do it tomorrow, right? And that's the thing that's really interesting to me. And as we now kind of go out and we're trying to find hosts, I become, even though I love the Steves and everyone I've ever worked with, it becomes less interesting to me to work with people directly day to day that I've worked with in the past for years and years, and more about finding the people that are going to be the next generation of hosts, right? The people that are trying, but when I talk about, I'm worried about the next generation of commentators and hosts because of what's happening on YouTube, being able to actually handle that myself. So we're in the early stages of getting everything set up, but we're probably going to start using services that really appreciate video responses and video conversation that's not live. And so we're thinking about maybe working with Snacked there, because there's a lot of really interesting things as far as how well the video responses work together. And I think I don't know if they've gone public with this yet, sorry to the owners of Snacked, making it so that if people send in video responses and we just edit it on site, that those people could potentially also benefit before we even bring them into the family, as far as monetarily. So yes, 1,000 times yes, I want the next generation of people that are in front of the camera on my channel, on my network, to be people that are passionate and care about it, and are up and comers, that have not, once again, no offense to anyone that's established, that have not been tainted by the current ecosystem, because it's very, very easy to get lost in it and lose the cause. I've lost the cause and the purpose in the past before. I won't let it happen again, and I want to help the next generation be a part of that.
Right on. Thank you so much.
Woo! All right, next up. What is your name, miss? Anna. All right, Anna, what is your question for Phil?
What is the strangest fan encounter you've had?
Well, if you watch the vlog, we had someone show up with a box of stuff. We never really found out what the box was, because we were mainly like, how did you find us, and also how did you bypass the locks? But that's so rare. It's so rare. Most 99.9% of the interactions are always good. They're always good. Everyone's just, thank you, I appreciate what you're doing, or I've been trying to do this for a long time and it's inspired me to do blank. So it's hard to find that. Also because any of the awkward interactions, it's just because someone is nervous and they're excited, and I've been in that person's shoes, and I will whenever possible bend over backwards to make it not an awkward or weird experience, because at my first VidCon I had plenty of those. I was that guy. I was like Weird Phil to a few top creators. So there's not, I wish I had like a crazy story, but that's really it. It was the thing we showed in the vlog was one of the biggest outliers, because in general people are respectful. But yeah, I wish I had something like, and then you'll never guess what happened.
Click to learn more.
Not clickbait.
Live clickbait.
Thank you so much for your question.
Thanks, take care. All right, come on over here, dude. What's your name?
My name is Jack.
Jack!
Jack, give it up for Jack.
Give it up for Jack.
Woo!
How did you get the idea to start YouTube?
To start on YouTube, I was very bored and very poor. I could, yeah, poor. It's nice to think back fondly about that, not to live it, ever. No, it was that. I was in college. I was trying to be. I'm gonna sit down. I feel like I'm too high for you. I was in college.
Taking a knee, basically.
Taking a knee. Bring it in, family. I was in college. I was really bored. I was in the pre-med program because my dad for 18 years told me that I definitely wanted to be a doctor, and I was super pumped about it. I was not, and I was also not smart enough, and I was not in it for the right reasons, and so I couldn't go out and do anything because I didn't have any money. And so I started, all of a sudden I found YouTube because of a creator called Lonely Girl 15, right? There's like a few people that still remember Jessica Rose and that whole ordeal. But so I started watching her, I started watching a few people, and I wanted to be a part of it. I figured, and I feel like I have to be like, no offense, but the same thing that when people watch me or watch someone else, they're like, if this idiot can do it, I can do it. Hello, I saw you wave, don't worry, I see you. We have a connection. And so that was really it. I was bored, and I didn't have any money. I had to code a website for a charity to get my first webcam, which shot 320 by 240. The whole reason my videos back in the day were black and white was because it would make it seem less pixelated, because it was really bad quality. And that was really it. I mean, I think whenever people jump into it, whenever you jump into it, I don't know if are you making stuff now? No. So if you do ever make that jump, it should be based off of what you like to watch and what you would actually watch personally. That's the best, that's the most enjoyable thing. It might not feel like it's paying off in the beginning, but that's 100% the best thing to do. I got into it because I was bored and I was looking for something to love or to latch onto, and even if it hadn't blown up, I would do it in some way just to connect. So I recommend anyone else that's thinking about it, just put it out there. It's going to be probably bad for, like, in my case, the first 7 years, but then just keep it up.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Woo! What is your name?
Taryn.
Taryn, may I take your arm? Taryn, what's your question for Phil?
Okay, I wrote it down because I'm nervous as heck.
I love your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Have a great fucking day.
Thank you too. Okay, so
that's what his shirt says. I'm not just being random.
So May 3rd of last year, my city was evacuated because of the huge fire, Fort McMurray, you might remember. And that's how I found your channel. And thank you for covering it, by the way, because we got a lot of donations and it helped us out a lot. And I was just wondering, my phone turned off.
You're good.
Oh yeah, have there been any stories that have affected you personally or emotionally more than others? Because I know you do get like emotional over certain stories, especially like recently. So.
Yeah, it's interesting because doing this so long, it lends itself to kind of making you cold. Even if it's just, you see it every day and you try and tell yourself that you get numb to it because you see it so much. But the problem is, the way that I go into stories is I always go, what's the net emotional impact of this story, right? And what I've personally found, while a lot of stories still affect me, anything with kids always hurts me. That's always been the case, just because, like, growing up, I had friends that were like hurt or in bad situations. I mean, based off of my childhood, personal experiences, and seeing the way friends went. Like, I think one of the ones that messed me up as far as a non-death story was the Daddy of Five story, right? And that one, a lot of people said, like, how do you keep it calm? And it's because I'm raging inside. I'm so angry, but I know that it's more important to have a valid, something that seems like a well thought out, calm argument, rather than letting everyone else have their completely rational emotional response. So I'd say anything with kids, I try to keep it as collected as possible, but I also, you guys know that I'm not just like a robot, right? The stories should make us feel something. It's why we're talking about it. So, I don't know, I will never shy away from those things. I get a little scared because there are people that cover it to sensationalize and get views off of it, but it's important to remember that there's real horrible stuff that's happening and we need to talk about it, even if it's scary, it makes us angry, or if it makes me want to cry while I'm talking about it. But yeah, I'd say, the moment I think that those stories stop impacting me, I need to take a break, because then I've gone too far. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, but Phil, I got another, excuse me.
Just to make sure, there's not a counter here. Do we have 35 minutes?
Is someone keeping me? Okay, great.
Go.
Okay, so someone asked the question on Twitter. Mark Selby asks, how are you gonna release your vlog the same time as you start your Q&A?
Yes!
Well, I'll tell you why. It was going to go up at 9 o'clock, and then I text Joe. I was like, hey Joe, did you realize that you put what floor and what my hotel room number is in the video? So that's why. So that's why. It's okay, Joe. It's fine. I know you can't read numbers. It's cool. You didn't know. You're like, what are those things?
What is your name? Diana, what is your question for Phil?
Are you ever going to make your network into another language? Because I make my mom watch you, I had to translate for her. So are you going to make it in Spanish or something?
Yes, actually, so specifically Spanish first. Spanish first, it's the end of the first step of what we're going for, like at the end of the first step, beginning of the second. What's a kind of lucky happenstance, a lot of the people we brought on speak Spanish as a first or a second language, and that's the most exciting thing. It really, at that point, it's just about finding, that needs a host. I don't want it to be just a voice over my face, and there's something about, I think, the authenticity of the speaker, you know? So 100%, I think it's an underserved market, and so if you're thinking about making something and you speak Japanese, Spanish, anything that can be even remotely unique, there's a community there. The size is going to be different. It might be smaller. Some people call it niche, but it just needs to grow, right? People's interests, people's lives, they're constantly growing, and there's a much needed audience. It's why you see all of a sudden no one really talks about German YouTubers here, but German YouTubers have been massive. Right, and when these markets open up and there is interest there because maybe people don't feel represented, that's where there's an opportunity. So that, and also I feel like even in America more and more people are speaking Spanish. I want to serve any and all audiences. Awesome. Oh, one more question.
How does it feel when people like your coworkers wonder you?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Are you kidding me? Like the fact that Joe and the team and everyone else gets love, that just gives me more time to answer emails and handle calls. But oh man, I mean, speaking of today's vlog is specifically, except Joe made a joke about Joey Graceffa that I think is gonna get a lot of hate. Ooh, do you see that? Oh, the age of Joe is over.
He's trying to cover it up.
But other than that, I think everyone's gonna love you.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Nice work. All right, come on up here. What is your name?
Courtney.
Courtney, take my hand.
Hello, Courtney.
What's your question for Phil?
So I technically have two. The first one is, Phil, do you know what today is?
Yes, it's day 2 of VidCon?
3.
No, that first day doesn't count. It's day 0.
Yeah.
That's what everyone calls it, according to me and my brain right now.
Okay, and then the second question is, especially with the creation of DeFranco League and wanting to branch out, how do you do constructively with like the stress and pressure that taking such a big project comes with?
So in both good and bad ways. More and more, it's been working out, right? And taking it from 2 days to 3 days. But then also, at 10 o'clock at night, eating as much food as possible to suppress the emotions I'm feeling in my life. Oh yeah! Sadness eating. No, but it's slowly trying to shift that more and more. It's a very stressful time. I'm trying to make sure that I handle the stresses in the most positive way. Also because my life's going to get really flipped upside down in September when baby number 2 comes around. Every parent that I've talked to has been so delighted to tell me the jump from 1 baby to 2 babies is so much harder than just 0 to 1 babies. So I'm gonna have to work more and more to find a good, positive way, and I think it's okay that I'm suffering with it because for me, the main 2 things is the family happy.
Hello, beautiful
Good to see you,
sir.
man. What's the question you plan on asking Phil?
Well, the question I had was
more of a Triforce rather than a 1, 2, 3. But I'm hoping that I'll figure it out. Or there's just gonna be no more showing a year because I died.
right next to yours.
Okay.
Your face, you're like.
What's worst case scenario?
Worst case. I just want you to know that it's a possibility. Thank you so much. Uh-oh, did Steve run away?
He's vetting questions.
Were you just hanging? You're catching up?
Asking people for money. This one doesn't have any money, so. What's your name?
Amy?
Amy, what is your question for Phil? Take my hand.
My question is, have you gotten to meet any YouTuber or YouTubers that you wanted to meet? And if you haven't, who would you like to meet?
Ooh, okay. That's a good question. I feel like I'd like to sit down and talk to, like have like a 2-hour podcast or even something off camera with Liza Koshy. I said it right before I gave her like new artist streaming. I said it at the streamies to her. I think Liza Koshy and people like Liza Koshy are the future, and I'm excited about it. 100%. I see raw, real talent. And so I'd like to talk to her, right? And sorry, I'm like, she's the future. Let me gush about her. But it's someone that has a natural talent that's coming up in the right way that doesn't seem changed by it, right? And that's always this thing, because I do have like a small negative view of our industry, right? Because there is like the dark, shady side, whether it be egos or people using their power positions to prey on fans or anything like that. But what I see, and maybe it's because they're masters of disguise, but I see someone that is genuinely talented, genuinely passionate. If she and people like her are the representatives of our space, I'm ecstatic. It just adds validity and it makes us all look better. But so I'd say Liza Koshy, and then no one else.
Awesome. All right, come on over this way here. What are you saying?
And also, you want to meet with me?
Of course.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay. All right. All right, come on over.
Steve's not sold, apparently.
What's your name?
My name's William.
William, what is your quiz?
That is the best shirt in the world. Joe, you have to get this.
Let's see what it says.
Wait, just so you know, wait, turn around for the people in the back. So it says, did iDubbbz tell you to do this? YouTube is shutting down my channel and I'm not sure what to do. You are my favorite person in the world.
Thank you. And on the back, it's a full paragraph about YouTube heroes.
Oh my God, I'm not going to read that.
We don't have time for that.
Okay, so my question for you is, as a father growing up with children who internet will be an integral part of their life, where do you draw the line from what's acceptable? Like popular YouTubers are friends, friends.
So would you give a question and ask him, or just a comment?
I just want to
So my content, like as far as what I produce, it's not aimed at children. I think that kids are getting, as far as consuming the media, they're older and older mentally. So I think that, I imagine that there are 13-year-olds that watch me. That's never my aim. My aim has always been to talk to 18 to 35-year-olds like myself, and then it kind of expands. Something that I always repeat is I make the show essentially for me. What would I watch? And as far as my son, that is a great question. I don't know. I've seen it handled in multiple ways, and both as a kid that's going to consume content and does consume content, and as someone that is on camera, it is a worry of mine, because I've seen YouTube families where the kids go to school still and they're essentially celebrities, but then whatever happens in the video, whether it be them or not, it affects them. It affects their life. And so I know that my wife and I, as we get older and as kids get older and they're in school, we're gonna have to have a conversation about that. And then as far as consumption, it's just about being there as well, right? Thanks to Ethan, H3H3, that's where I learned about like the weird deceptive kid channels. Ethan's great, Hila's great, beautiful people. But yeah, I mean, he mainly just watches Ryan Toy's review, and if he's like, we're 40 minutes into a meal and he wants to run, that's it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll use that YouTube restricted mode that YouTube's pumped about. Thank you, man.
All right, awesome, dude.
I love that shirt so much.
Come on over here. Who's this on your shirt, sir?
iDubbbz.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. What's your name?
Sean.
Sean, what's your question for Phil?
So recently I feel like YouTube is spending a lot of time and effort on YouTube Red and making all these original shows instead of maybe focusing on some of the other problems with the site. And so I just wanted to ask, what's your opinion on YouTube Red?
So YouTube Red programming or the whole thing? Because I think
the whole thing.
So the whole thing in general, I love. YouTube Red as a ad-free experience, you get the music thing, although I think that's like a lesser thing for most people. I think it's good. The more I talk to YouTubers, the more that's becoming 1/20th, 1/10th, 1/8th of their total income. And it makes it so that when the videos do get hit, especially the creators that have been hit hard, and the creators that still get hit hard, they don't want to talk about it because they feel like they're whining. That helps a ton of people, and I also think it provides a good experience. And you don't, if you feel bad about AdBlocker ever, most people don't. It serves that. As far as the YouTube Red programming, we're seeing good examples. Like Rhett and Link's series, I think was a fantastic example. It came in at a good time. You're like, please.
I love it.
Are you trying to get on GMM? Is that why?
A little bit. I've been on it.
But as far as the programming, we have to remember that YouTube is a very large company, right? So there are people that are focusing on that. And I think they're also aware where they realize, okay, let's bring in the Kevin Harts, let's bring in the Katy Perrys, or at least established people, and then also try and bring in YouTube talent. Personally, I would love it if the split was closer to 80% organic talent on YouTube and then 20% because they provide the validity, but what they don't realize is some of those people aren't going to convert views. When Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is amazing, puts out a video on YouTube, it'll do good. If Logan Paul is in it, it will do 10 times better. So there's an understanding and there's a passion for organic talent. And as far as the problems on YouTube, I think they're just trying to figure it out. I am hypercritical. I am hypercritical of them, but it comes from a place of love. I think a lot of people do want to change it, but we always have to remember we have our champions in there, but we just might not see them. All we see is what is happening to us, what's happening to our favorite creators, and so what I've been trying to do more and more is find those people, find those champions, and work with them. And also, that's one of the reasons why I talk about things in the YouTube community. Sometimes they are not aware of things that are happening, like some of the people that are working there. And also, sometimes like you have to have like a weird public shaming so that something happens. And it's this very unfortunate thing that is a balance of, are we whining, or are we just trying to make the platform better for all creators? And so, as long as I'm more of the latter there, I'll feel good about it. But I think I am more hopeful. I think that things are rocky at times, and they're very rocky for some people. I think that long term, it's going to be a good thing. Thank you, man.
Awesome, man. Nice work. All right, come on out. What's your name, dude?
Aiden.
Aiden. All right. What is your question for Phil?
I was wondering, you just released the That's Amazing t-shirts.
Yes.
And it's given at St. Jude's.
Yes.
How do you feel how well that's sold?
I'm blown away by it. I'm blown away by it. Yeah, we've thank you. I think the That's Amazing shirt, it said, Joe, is it $27,000 raised? I think. Yeah, you saw it? Joe was like, I have no idea. I don't know what the internet is. Yeah, no, I feel like you have to take those moments to do something, right? Because we're becoming more and more stable even as we grow, and there has to be some sort of give back to the world. I try and do that sometimes with the stories I cover, and then being able to provide money to a very good, legitimate cause, that's great. I think the next thing I'd like to do is also raise awareness of programs that people can participate in, whether actively, daily, going down to a food kitchen, or to the most extreme, the Living Donor Program. Things like that, things that can help actual people, rather than just us kind of doing something on the internet and being like, well, I'm a good person. But yeah, thank you, man.
Awesome.
How's it going?
Okay, so we have time for maybe about 4 or 5 more.
Is it till 10:30?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay, so come on over. Let's try to get through these a little bit quick, okay? So what is your name?
My name is Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Sherry, what is your question for Phil?
Okay, I've been watching you for like 7, 8 years, and we're out here on our honeymoon, and I know how hard it is to manage time with kids and everything, and you have the Philantropy and the Philip DeFranco show and the Franco Elite now and the Franco Fram. How do you balance or not overwork yourself?
So I am still dealing with. Oh wait. All right. I still am dealing with the pressures, the time restraints, but the big thing is finding really, really talented people that put in the hours, that care about what we're doing, and then properly delegate it. Like, I couldn't do my show if I didn't have Amanda Morones producing my show with me. I couldn't do it without James Charnier editing like a fast motherfucker. The vlog wouldn't be what it is without Joe and me, without Keith. I mean, Brian, who gets, he's like only kind of featured. What's unfortunate on YouTube is that our thumbnail selection is like 40% of the views, so Brian focuses on that, he works on that. He also he's a part of every design that you see, so everything that helps bring in money through the Franco Elite, like the posters, making the St. Jude design so we can help charity, doing anything on the site to make the show look more premium and grow. It's really just, and I know that I'm not going to say everyone as we grow, like there's Danny Rosenberg who's helping us hire. Everyone that's on our team cares about us. We're a family together. What I always say with the vlog is it's a family vlog but in a business setting. We care about each other. We're trying to do what a family is. Like, we're trying to take care of each other and do something special because we care about one another. So I think it's finding the right people. It is very, very hard, and you're going to find some people that don't fit into that. But as long as you're aware and you're not scared to shed that skin, you're good.
All right, Phil. I have Chloe here. Chloe, what's your question?
I was wondering how the DeFranco fan and having cameras around has affected your trade life.
Having the DeFranco fan, how it's affected hasn't affected it a lot. It adds to the conversation I had in my head of when is it okay, when do we need to stop, right? Because like we don't film, he doesn't want to be filmed, and so it changes that dynamic at home. It's very minimal, and then for the family in general, not that much. Like I said, we have some of the best people that watch us. No one's crazy, no one's running up, and we've had other YouTube family vloggers, like someone ran up and picked my child and hugged them, like without asking. We haven't had that. Everyone's really, really cool, and he also doesn't know anything. Like he doesn't realize that 100 to 300,000 people watch him play with a train, right? And then get angry at it. He doesn't realize that when we hung out with the family for Ryan Toys review a while ago, that Ryan's not like his one-on-one friend that lives next door, what he thinks of them, because people are connected. So if anything, it's opened my eyes up to what the newest generation is going to see the internet as, because they see it as like this thing that has them connected. And that's so alien to me, because when I was 19, I was on dial-up internet, right? And so I didn't have that as a kid, probably for the better. But I don't know. I think it's just making me see the world in a different way, and so I think that's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Phil, I have Sky.
Hi, Sky.
What's your question?
Well, first off, I'm a very proud beautiful bastard.
Thank you.
I've been watching you since I'm a traveler, and I've seen a lot of military coups and atrocities around the world. When you launch your news or whatever, is there a place where people, like, I've captured a story, we can turn it into, do you need global people?
So I think that's a great question. I think that we definitely want to have those people that we send. I think the first step for us is going to be engaging with communities that already live there. People that live that life that has been essentially flipped upside down. Seeing local on the ground, and more importantly, raw footage before we send people. And that's also because as I'm building this up, I'm talking to more and more people from established media that have done those things. Because I always say, like, one of my best assets as far as traits is knowing where I don't believe it, right? Where I need to build up, it's important not to guess and get things wrong, right? In a situation like that. So it's definitely part of the goal. It's definitely part of our international push. But I think the first thing is going to be engaging the audience that we have actively watching, actively caring about their world, and getting a glimpse through their eyes. Even if it's not front-facing, or this is what we're seeing right now. Obviously, we'll have to treat that footage as raw, and if we don't have something that conveys a point of view, we'll have to just be very blunt about that. But I'm excited to tackle that, because I feel like we'll have a more meaningful impact than just covering the stories we do now. What we do now is good, it's important. I think people come to the show not just because it's me talking about it, but because they don't trust a lot of places, and we needed it, and we're kind of cycling the news. I want to eventually, on some of the stories, on 50% of the stories, cut through all that noise and handle it ourselves. Cool, thank you.
All right, Phil, I've got Brian and Madeline here. Little Madeline here. Brian, what is your question?
I didn't have a question. I just wanted to say I've been watching since I could scroll to your first videos on SXE Phil, and I just want to thank you for all the actual influencing you do, like H3C, and most recently because of Debbie 5, my daughter. That's really it. You've been in a long time. I made horrible, shitty videos on channels I can't even access because I was trying to just copy your style. And I'm going to mail you this hat, and I hope you signed that one.
Well, actually, Steve, remember what I was saying before we started the show? We wanted to tell that you're getting your daughter started on YouTube early. Steve has a backpack full of Despicable Me toys, and we wanted to just give it to you. I saw your video before
It's got toys in it. Do you want this?
For you.
It's got toys in it for you. Yeah. She's a little shy.
She just hit 4K subscribers.
Oh, she just hit 4,000 subscribers! Well, she started off as scared, like, social thing going on, so that's good, that's good. Keeps you strong. All right, well, enjoy the swag. A bunch of cool toys here for you guys. Take care.
I'm watching.
This is Colette, Phil.
Look at it. Is it too? What's your This is for you.
Well, I think players and people that were established before, back when there were more doors in the way, I think that was still aspirational. I think that what we do is potentially more aspirational and relatable for most of you. I mean, you have people that can sing three moments. It's really all about personality online. I think a big part of watching any of us is
so nice.
You watch someone that has a lot of subscribers that you're like, why? Right? And those are the people that inspire me most because that means that anyone can do it. As long as you get the timing right, as long as things work in your favor and you bust your ass at the same time, that's what makes it exciting. So us being closer, relatable, I think it's more inspiring and more motivational than the really, really big stars. I love this guy.
Phil, we have a real spaceman astronaut works at NASA. You don't work at NASA? I wish. Okay, well his name's Peter. He's got a question for you, Phil. What's your question?
Okay, Phil. I was wondering what kind of criteria do you have for bringing more people on YouTube or growing the business, and would you be potentially bringing people here to VidCon for new talent?
So a big part, like I was saying earlier, a big part of the organic talent from the ground up, it's people from the nation coming in that are passionate that I can see being left and right, and being able to see someone's point of view. It's not the most fun thing to say, but a big important thing moving forward with the company is finding out someone's opinion on a very controversial issue, right?
We'll get it out after this.
I'm not going to say, but getting someone in for a host and going, what is your opinion on abortion? Okay? And then I want you to argue the opposite of that point. Why do people that don't agree with you, what do they argue? And don't talk down, don't be rude about their point of view. Why do you think they stand for that? Why does one point talk about killing? Why does one point talk about choice? Right? And so if you can get through those stories, right? You cut through your own understandable emotions. That's when you're on the right path, right? Because otherwise, a lot of people say they're moderate, a lot of people say they see other people's points of view, but if you can't do it on the extreme stuff, it's not helpful. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Okay, Phil. Very good. So we've got one more audience question, unfortunately, and I'm going to do one more quick Twitter question. So, sir, you are the final question. What is it for Philip DeFranco?
Okay. My name is Jacob.
Hey, Jacob.
So,
you're okay.
So I watched YouTube for a while, and I noticed that older creators seem to respect each other and act like their friends. Like each other. But I noticed that new YouTubers, like in the past 2 years or so, were hating each other. And there's always a beef, there's always so I think even here, someone I did not endorse, someone I did not endorse, Nancy Brazen. I don't endorse her.
So,
how do you think? So, my question is, when is the right? I looked at the VidCon schedule and I couldn't find it anywhere. When is the right?
Alright, we'll open that later, okay?
Well, he's saying, what is with Twitter beefs, basically? Like creator beefs.
Creator beefs.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of people have this, once again, this romantic idea that back in the day everyone got along together. And all it was everyone was scared of losing subscribers, so no one really talked about it. And then there was this whole generation, and this one of the reasons I started talking about YouTube in general is that there was this whole new, and I say generation as in like a 1 year generation, of YouTubers that came up, that their main goal was to shit on and destroy other YouTubers' careers because they realized that if they did it in a also potentially funny way, they could just siphon all of those people's subscribers, right? And that blood in the water, I want to destroy someone that maybe messed up one time, that or maybe it's being misconstrued or there's nothing that is in stone. That's what really made me angry. As far as there being people that are angry, I get excited when there are people that are arguing and debating because it's cutting through the bullshit. I think the thing you're talking about is the thing that happened with Femme Frequency, which I didn't really get to see. There was like a video that I couldn't
We'll open it right after this, okay?
I think debate and
Alright, but we'll open it after this, okay? It's almost done.
I'm good. Obviously, there has to be a line as far as what is harassment, but I have to see that specific thing to be able to call it out or say that's fine. But anytime it's more wrong, I'm down with it. That doesn't make me the good guy. I don't try and be the good guy. But anytime that we see people that have legitimate problems with one another, I'd rather that than someone having a problem with one another and then trying to stay in my house one night.
Okay, so final question from Twitter comes from A Trade Gaming. Phil, this is a good last one. What keeps you motivated?
I actually had a great conversation about this with Bernie, where motivation is definitely important, but motivation is ultimately emotional, right? It's this thing that can be fleeting. I can be excited and want to start running 10 miles a day, and I care about it, but then I know there's going to be one day that I don't want to, and there's going to be a week that I don't want to. And so rather than motivation, which is very important, and passion is very important, I find that discipline is far more important. Working on the days that you don't want to work, getting through the rough spots because you know that this is something that you actually genuinely care about, and that motivation came from a very real place. So understand that when I say it's hard to do 7 days a week, it's because it's hard at some point. Everyone has a rough patch, whether it be rational or irrational to the people that are watching and the people that are around them, right? So that's why if you have that dream, you have the initial motivation. If you kind of lose it, understand that we're flawed, weird bags of meat that are up and down about whatever we do in this life. So work through the hard times if you actually want that dream. If you're unsure about it, take the time. But for me, I think it's discipline and vision over just motivation. Motivation is a second, discipline is a lifetime. Thank you guys.
Woo! We did it! We did it! We did it, Phil! We did it! Guys, thank you so much for coming.
Guys, I just want to thank you. Actually, can we do one thing? I never do this, but I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then I want everyone to say love your faces. 1, 2, 3.
Love your faces!